This is a quick presentation on how to cut an 80-pound wheel of Comté into half-pound pieces, which are convenient for retail sale. You will need a few tools, such as a long handheld cheese wire with 2 handles, a clean blade, and a wire cheese slicer such as the white plastic one in the photo. Open the brown paper which covers the cheese. This paper is ideal for shipping the wheels from France. It allows the cheese to breathe during shipping. Make sure to place the cheese on something sturdy. Ridge the label with a clean blade. This will avoid ripping the lovely label while you cut the cheese with a wire. Make an indent on the heel of the cheese so that you can nest the wire in there. Then slowly drag the handheld wire toward you, cleanly through the cut line on the label. Once you can, you'll get hold of both handles in one hand and steady your motion with the other. Once you cut the wheel in two, prepare to cut one of the halves into 2 quarters. You may want to store the other half in plastic wrap and put in refrigeration before it comes to room temperature. Ridge the label to avoid ripping while you drag the wire through the cheese. Drag the handheld wire cleanly through the cut line on the label. Now you have 2 quarter wheels. This is much easier than cutting the full wheel into 2 halves. Ridge the label again right down the middle of the quarter wheel and place the quarter wheel on the plastic wire cutter. You will notice that the quarter wheel is too big to fit inside the lip of the wire cutter, but the cheese will be steady enough to cut. Center it and drag the wire through the cheese. Now you have 2/8 of a wheel. Seen as the Comté wheel ranges from 75 to about 80 pounds, the 1/8 is likely to weigh around 9, 10, sometimes even 11 pounds. Here we have a 9-pound piece. Cut the nose of the cheese to about as close to 1 pound as possible. Where the piece is 10 pounds or over, you will have to cut down 2 1-pound pieces from the nose, and this takes a little practice. Once the nose is cut, you are left with the most easy part of the cutting, an 8-pound piece that you will halve into 2 4-pound pieces. Then halve again into 4 2-pound pieces. What makes this easy is that by simply centering the cheese on the cutter, you cut equal halves down to the pound piece. Then the 1-pound piece is cut in 2. You have avoided cutting the cheese through its belly, which is really not recommended for Comté and all mountain cheeses. Don't be afraid of serving a piece of cheese with 3 sides of rind to your customer. If you manage to cut it thinly, it will look lovely, like a thin poetry book.